Se preparó, se puso linda, su amiga llamaba. Salió de rumba, nada le importó, porque su novio ella le engañó.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You guys are so lucky to see me in the same outfit 2 times in a row, but I wanted to go ahead and film a video for you guys. I actually feel really under the weather. I probably have to go and take allergy medicine right after this video, but honestly, I'm kind of excited for today's video. So today we are doing another salon horror story. So today's video, I am going to be talking about an experience. Actually, today it does not include any of my clients being psycho, but it is going to be a very crazy experience that I had to deal with while I was with my client and while I was doing her hair and everything, and it was insane. Okay guys, so pretty much this all started with this girl, right? So she wanted to get her hair done, and normally at the salon that I used to work at, we closed on Sundays and Mondays. Those were typically our off days. So she wanted to come in on a Sunday, and so I was like, okay, but there was like nobody else there because, you know, typically we were closed and nobody really works on Sundays and Mondays. So she came in, I started, you know, doing her hair and everything. It was fine. You know, nobody was there. I had the music going. It was a pretty, I mean, it was a small salon, but it was pretty a safe area. You know, there wasn't a lot of like weirdos or like homeless people or anything like that around the area. It was a pretty safe area because it was actually near a university, so it wasn't a bad area at all. If you go down the street, it was pretty wealthy, but I guess if you were to go down the other street, you know how the city is, if you go down the other street, of course you're gonna like be in like Little Mexico or whatever, and like, yeah, so it depends which side you go to. She came in. Really didn't think anything of it. I didn't like lock the doors or anything like that because it was like, it was a beautiful day outside. It was like 70 degrees. It was during the daytime. It was like, I think I started doing her hair at like 10 o'clock. So it was like nice and bright. And like there literally was nothing, like nothing out of the, like nothing I should be concerned about. It wasn't like it was nighttime and we were by ourselves and, you know, we're girls or anything like that. So I didn't think anything of it. I was like, it's fine, it's whatever, like we're gonna deal with it, whatever. So she came in, I started doing her hair, and this girl walks in, and when they walk in, like the door has like a little bell, so it goes ding or like whatever. So I like turn and I see her. I don't really have like any weapons on me, so you know, you never know in today's society if it's like a setup, if they're just like, you know, somebody else is gonna come in, a guy's just gonna come in. And you know, since we were in a safe area, I just had left the door open. You know, we're like an open, like walk-in salon, so you don't really think, let me like close the door, lock the door. And you know, if I had the time, I would, if I had a walk-in that was like, hey, can I get a haircut, I probably would take it. So that's kind of like why I didn't lock the door. So when she came in, I was a little like, oh, like I don't have a good feeling about you. So she came in and she was like, do you have a restroom? So at first I was like, oh, okay, but I always heard that you're not supposed to let people that are not customers use our restroom. You know, I was like, yeah, it's like right there, whatever. So she went to the restroom. She took her time in there. I mean, she spent like a good like 10 minutes in there, so I wasn't judging. I was like, you know what, you might have had some, you know, bad Taco Bell or something. So I was like, it's fine. So she was just in there, and it was, you know, it was fine. It was okay. So she comes out, and then she has like a jacket on, which was also kind of weird. Like she had like a jacket on, and she wasn't wearing that much clothes underneath. Like she had like shorts on and everything, but she had a hoodie, and she had it on like this, where she had her hand in her hoodie, which immediately kind of like sent obviously like red flags to me, that I was like, oh my god, she better not have a gun or a knife or something, like literally gonna hurt us or something. So I just kind of like looked at her, because my client's in her chair, and I look at her and my client can see her through the mirror, and I'm like looking at her, and she's like, do you have any money? Pretty much begging for money, soliciting. And I almost did tell her that, like, we have a no soliciting sign, like, sorry, you can't ask us for money, you can't be here for that. And I just kind of like looked at her, and literally as soon as she said that, she started freaking out. This lady was freaking out, and she was like telling us her whole life story, pretty much saying that her boyfriend abuses her, she had to move here from a different state, her boyfriend hits her, does this and this and this, and she starts screaming that she's pregnant. Guys, mind you, this lady, she probably was like, she wasn't like old, but she was definitely probably in her like late 30s or 40s. So I don't know, the chances of her being pregnant were just kind of like, I don't know, she just didn't seem like she would be pregnant. And I don't know, she just, I don't know, she wasn't young, she just didn't seem like she would be pregnant. So I was like, okay, like, you know, this is a little odd. Yeah, and so she just starts freaking out and starts screaming, saying that she's pregnant, that her boyfriend hits her, that she needs money, she needs a place to stay, that she's so hungry. And that's literally all. She literally reminded me of a child screaming. She's like, I'm hungry, and you know, I'm pregnant, and like all this stuff. So immediately, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, should I call somebody? Like, I don't know, an ambulance, a police officer, like somebody, like, should I call for help or something? And so she starts screaming, and she goes, I need money. And so I tell her, I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't ever, you guys, carry cash on me unless my client pays me with cash, but I never have cash on me. So I told her, I'm like, I'm so sorry, like, I don't have any cash at all. Right away, she was like, oh, well, you know, like, give me my wallet and I'll give her something. So she pulls out her wallet, and she actually was going to pay me with cash, and it was a pretty, like, a lot of money. So she had nothing but 20s, and you could see, like, all the 20s and everything, but she pulled out, I believe she gave her $10, like a $10 bill, and she handed it to her, and the lady goes, oh, thank you so much, mama, like, thank you, you know, whatever. And so the girl was like, yeah, for sure, like, you know, because she told me, she was like, you know, I feel bad for people, like, I feel bad for stuff like that. So that was that, and that was like, you know, I don't feel bad for them, because I'm like, she seems like a scammer to me. Like, she was giving me bad vibes. Like, she did not seem like your typical homeless person or your typical, like, abused girlfriend. Like, she did not seem like that at all. And I was just like, I don't have cash for you. So she was like, okay. So the girl, like, gets the money, and she looks at it, and she's like, do you have any more? I'm like, my client even was like, I literally just gave you $10. I'm like, ma'am, $10 is enough for you to go to McDonald's and get a full Happy Meal, and you could get a drink. You could even get a large drink. Like, it's not going to cost you more than 10 bucks at McDonald's. You know what I mean? Like, you can feed yourself. So, I mean, you ain't going to be, you know, bon appetit, like, you know, nice silverware or anything, but you can get food in your stomach. So my client was like, no, I'm sorry, like, that's all I have for you, or like, that's all I have. And so she goes, okay. And then she, like, walks out. As soon as she opens the door to walk out, she yells so loud. She goes, hey. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I just had a heart attack, because it was so quiet in the building. And then, like, as soon as she opens it, she just yells at the top of her lungs, and she, like, walks out. And so I tell my client, I'm gonna go see, you know, whatever, because she had said that her boyfriend was abusive, that he left her, that she didn't have anything, that she was pregnant, that she was hungry, you know, all this stuff. And I go to see, and of course, like, I'm always right about these things. Of course, I, like, look, and I peek through the door window, and I see her. I mean, it was like a beat up old car, but she, like, hops in this beat up old car, and you could see that there was, like, 2 other guys in the car that are probably, you know, like, her boyfriend or whatever. Sure, they're just people scamming people for money to buy drugs or, you know, whatever. I mean, I don't like to assume, but it is what it is, kind of thing. And so, yeah, so she went in there and she ran across the thing. Dude, when I saw her, though, she was so scary looking. Like, you could tell she was like a twig. Like, you just want to, like, help them. Like, twig, so skinny. You could tell that she's, like, sick looking, just because she just doesn't have any, like, fat on her, you know, anything on her bones. So I went back and I told my client, I was like, so much for her story. I was like, yeah, there was 2 guys in that car. I'm pretty sure that it was probably her boyfriend or her pimp or whatever, and they, you know, they were just scouting for money and stuff to see. And, you know, after that, I went ahead, I locked the door. I was like, we're not getting any more people in here, because that's the last thing I would need for her, is to go tell them, oh yeah, there's 2 girls in there by themselves, and I saw that, you know, the girl had a bunch of cash on her. Like, hell no. So I was like, I'm gonna lock that shit up. And that was that. So that was pretty much the crazy experience that I had at the salon. So yeah, let me know if you guys have ever experienced anything like this. Even if you don't work in the hair industry, let me know if you had anybody that goes into your business or something that solicits, and you've seen, like, scammers or, like, whatever. Let me know down below, because I always think that's so interesting to me, and it's so crazy that, like, people actually go and they do stuff like that. Like, that's so insane. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this very quick, small story time. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Se preparó, se puso linda, su amiga llamada.